So we just saw the Wolverine, the new Wolverine movie. Thought it was good, not great, good.
Okay.
But here, I'll let them talk and then me. You got all of us in there?
All right. So I really, really, really enjoyed it. Mainly because what I carried with me is what I saw in the last Wolverine solo movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was not a quarter as good a film as this was. This was a much, much better movie. Just really, really rock solid. It really had a story to tell. It took time for quiet moments. It wasn't non-stop action, and I didn't feel like it dragged in those points. I thought Hugh Jackman really was fantastic. He's fantastic in every time he plays Wolverine. He's really made the part his own and really just done an amazing job. And I thought the rest of the cast was solid, although they're mostly Japanese, so I really don't know a whole slew of names. Actually, literally, the only other name I can mention is Famke Janssen, who plays an interesting part, but I don't want to go any further into it. She is in the film to some extent, but she does a nice job with what she is expected of it. And I thought it was just really intense. I thought James Mangold did an excellent job directing, and I thought the action scenes were intense. I thought everything really, really worked for me. I really enjoyed this film. I would have to give it a 92 out of 100. I thought it was a really great film. And listen, if you've ever seen an X-Men movie, I would see this. Anybody who's ever seen any of them. And if you saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, you should deserve it as a moviegoer to see this one, to see how it should be done.
Alright, what do you got, Kill? You saw the first one? You saw Wolverine?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Have you seen all the X-Men movies?
Yeah.
Alright.
I don't know, it kind of blew my expectations out of the water. It was more than I expected it was going to be. I expected it to be, like, decent.
What? I can't even hear you.
I expected it to be decent.
Yeah, speak
It
up.
ended up being good. I guess great, I guess. It was great. I don't know.
You enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
So,
What'd you like
would-
about it?
It was funny.
It was funny.
It was funny enough.
Definitely had a sense of humor. The
Well-
same kind of really reminds you of what he did with the X-Men movies,
No.
particularly X-Men 1 and 2.
Now, what do you rate it?
Like a 90 out of 100.
All right.
Alright, so let me tell you about this movie. So first of all, just the way it's set, the reality of the film far exceeds the previous film. But that being said, you know, I thought it kind of dragged in the beginning, but I think but it's an action film, so there was unique action, which is one of the things you have to hit. If you're going to do action, you got to hit unique action. I thought they did that. I didn't like the liberties they took with the character. I thought that Hugh Jackman felt old. I don't really think they grasped the Wolverine character like as he is in the comic book, but I think they sort of are getting it closer to what it is in the comic book. Not quite there yet. Again, Hugh Jackman felt old to me. The rest of the cast seemed very young, and he felt old. He was definitely out of place. I think
that was purposeful. He's
Yeah,
supposed
but-
to seem old and out of place.
Well, I don't.
He's hundreds of years old, and he's in a strange land.
By the way, the CG was just average.
All right.
You know, he had a couple one-liners, like more felt like a 90s action flick with his one-liners. But again, you know, this is like the greatest character for 10 years was the greatest character in the whole Marvel, and they're not quite. They're getting close. No berserker rage. They kill more people. He does some stuff that you'll like.
There's a lot more blood in this than there was in that previous X-Men films. A lot more blood.
But yo, somebody answered me the question. You got these comic book characters. They got these amazing stories that have endeared children for years, like teenagers, young adults for years, and no one does strict adaptations. I mean, Zack Snyder did an adaptation of Watchmen that was close to the book, right?
Watchmen wasn't for everybody.
It wasn't, and it was a fairly. I mean, 90% faithful to adaptation.
Look,
Same with Sin City. Sin City wasn't for everybody, and they did it word for word.
yeah, and it was great. I like both of them things. So,
They want this to be for everybody, though.
well, look, I think you tell a unique story, you win everybody. Look, the story that this is loosely based on is phenomenal. Phenomenal. The Chris Claremont, Frank Miller run of Wolverine.
It's the Wolverine miniseries, the original Wolverine miniseries.
Yeah, it's really good. So, we didn't get to see the Berserker Rage. We did see some cool shit that we never got to see before. They curse in this. It feels out of place to me. Let's see.
It's PG-13. They use profanity as much as they can.
What will I say?
They
The
use it
women
to
were all
maximum.
hot. I didn't agree with the costume choices a lot of times. I thought the CG could be better. I thought they should have taken a slightly different take on it. It seemed like most of the film was set in reality, like our reality, and then it sort of went into superhero mode, right? Like this is going to be superhero reality, not our reality. And
I think that was purposeful as well.
definitely purposeful, but you don't necessarily need to change a lot of the stuff. Anyway, so that being said, I still give it like an 83, and I mean it's enjoyable. That's all I'll say about that.
Didn't you found it entertaining?
Yeah.
You would recommend people seeing it, would you not? With that
If you wanted to see it beforehand, I would say see it because it
I'd
won't.
say if you're a fan of the X-Men movies, man, I'd absolutely recommend seeing this.
Okay. So
And if you saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, I beg of you, see this, because this will let you know a little closer to what Wolverine is than X-Men
yeah,
Origins.
there's a moment near the end where he drives in on a motorcycle and they frame it and it looks like a comic book panel,
Oh, it's gorgeous.
and the hair on my arm stood up. For real, like it stood up, and then ultimately didn't pay off for me. So that's what I want to say. So you're gonna have moments like, whoa, nah. So
I don't know what you're looking for. I mean, in fairness, you're a bigger Wolverine fan than I ever was. So
Yeah.
maybe your standards are a little higher for me. But God's honest, man, I love this movie. I really did.
all right, well that's it. Thanks.